First of all, thanks for joining me here at the Underground tonight. A little bit later, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing with this stack of silver here. Now, I want to start this off by saying I really hope all of you are getting prepared out there, because what has been going on and what is ahead in our economy is very scary stuff. We're going to talk about some of that today and some warning signs. So, first of all, a week ago, the Federal Reserve came out and announced a change to their inflation policy, that they were pretty much not going to target 2% inflation anymore, and that their new goal is to try to hit an average of 2.5% moving into the future. Now, they used their words very carefully because they said an average, and I'm going to get to why that concerns me as we go on. Now, the Federal Reserve came out today, September 4th, and gave us a warning that the economy could be heading in a downward spiral moving into the future. And pretty much their reasoning for this is with interest rates near zero, and they expect inflation to stay really low over the next coming years moving into the future, pretty much the only thing they can do is print money, and print money till they can't print any more money. Now, most of us hear, hey, more money, that's good. But the problem is, we're not going to see any of that money. What's going to happen is, all that money is going to make its way to the 1%. It's going to help push up the stock market. It's going to help, push up real estate, asset prices, and just inflate the things that we don't actually get to invest in as average Americans. And at the same time, it's going to make us poorer, and we're going to be losing jobs. Our dollar's going to lose value, and it's going to make it a lot harder on us, as if it hasn't been hard enough. So, why the rich are getting even richer and getting more prepared and getting more assets in real estate, accumulated, we're going to be hitting the grind trying to just work and pay our bills and get by through this pandemic and everything else going on. And then everything's going to come tumbling down and just leave us in a completely horrible situation and probably extremely lower our standard of living. So it just seems completely backwards. Like, they should be trying to help the little guy, but yet every policy and everything they implement only helps the wealthy, the investor, the big corporations, and business owners. This whole pandemic seems rather convenient, if you ask me. They forcefully close small businesses. Americans, by the millions, are losing their job. Every job report that comes out. We had one that just came out, a day or two ago, and almost another million people lost their jobs. It was like 900 and some thousand. So while we're losing our jobs, while we're struggling to get by and having harder times, because of the policies that they're doing, the rich are getting richer and wealthier. All this money they're printing nonstop, it's going in their pockets, and we're going to be left holding the bag. This is why I stress once again, you got to have your food, water, security, and you got to have precious metals. When they have some type of plan in order. They have another financial monetary experiment ready to come out fresh off the press once this comes crashing down. So it's not like our economy is going to come crashing down and boom, we're back into the early 1900s and blah, blah, blah. They're going to come rolling out with a new monetary system, and if you have assets, if you have silver, if you have gold, you're going to have something that's going to have extreme value. Because as we said, this policy is going to push asset prices up. Gold and silver are safe haven assets, and this is going to be one of the main assets all these rich, wealthy investors are going to be gobbling up while all this is going on, pushing the prices higher. So, real quick, what you see before you is a few videos ago, I said I was going to start collecting a special stack of silver for when the gold to silver ratio gets a little bit closer to evening out. And I don't mean evening out by 1 to 1. I mean, once the silver to gold ratio, or gold to silver ratio, drops to about, I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out here, like 55 to 1 or 60 to 1. I'm going to take all this silver I have in this, newly stacked stash and trade it in for gold. And in an earlier video I stated that basically if I traded it in when the ratio was 50 to 1 and bought 50 ounces of silver at $27, that means I'm getting an ounce of gold for around $1,400 when the price of gold to actually buy it is over $2,000 as of right now, and it's probably only going to go up in the long term. So anyways, this is a nice little stack that I'm starting to give myself a boost, and I'm just going to continue to add to it. So I do want to remind you, nothing goes straight up. So if you see some pullbacks here in these precious metals, I know I'm not concerned about it because everything that's going on now, they've been planning for a long time, and precious metals are definitely a big part of that. Last year in the central banks, they officially made gold a tier 1 asset, which means it's as liquid as cash to them. It's as good as cash, if not better. They've been setting up for this for a long time. The Federal Reserve has already stated that they have a digital dollar, and Congress is already discussing a bill to where Congress could start, if it passes, allowing American citizens to have these digital accounts, which pretty much means it's digital. There's no cash involved. Now, I'm not saying there won't be cash out there when these accounts come out, but you better believe their whole plan with this digital dollar thing is to slowly pull all of the cash off the streets because they want to control everything. And precious metals, once again, are just another way to transact outside of that system. You could do fair trade in your yard, in the woods, in the basement. It doesn't matter. You can transact and barter with precious metals wherever you want. And that's why they're so important. And I don't know. I just think that with everything going on and it being an economic, crisis that we're going into, this is an economic asset that has been around forever. It's actually the only one that's been around forever besides property. And I don't know, guys. I think it's very important to the future and the world we're moving into. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think about this policy? Making the rich even richer. Why, it's going to make us poorer. I mean, they pretty much announced that in a bunch of twisted words. It's kind of creepy that, we're letting this happen here in America. So, I hope all of you are staying safe. I hope all of you are getting prepared. Food, water, security, precious metals. And please, everybody, keep prepping. Have a good night.